Hello everyone. Today I've done a lesson plan on travel and I thought we'd do a little micro lesson on pronunciation and special words that you might encounter when someone is traveling by air. So this is a micro lesson, and the first word that you will encounter when someone's traveling by air is probably reservation. So you might have booked a hotel, so that's your reservation, and you would have booked your ticket. So you could also say that you've reserved tickets, although it's probably more likely to be used in terms of your hotel reservation. So when you're checking in, um, it's normal to say, I have a reservation for 5 nights, or I have a reservation for one night. Um, and then you might say to a friend, well, we reserved tickets for travel to Paris or New York. So reservation can be used in both contexts, but it's particularly more often used in terms of reservations at a hotel, or you might have a reservation of a table at a restaurant. Luggage is fairly simple and straightforward. It's a broad word, means all your suitcases, backpacks, and hold-all that you might have to carry your things would be your luggage. So you would use this word in a sentence such as, oh, I've packed my luggage, or I put my luggage in the car, ready to travel tomorrow morning. Terminal is pretty much specific to airports. So in the larger airports around the world, it's quite often the case that there are several terminals at one airport. So Heathrow Airport has 5 different terminals where your flights come and go. So you might have one, two, three, any number of terminals where you would go to take your flight, or where you would land after your travel. I think it's sometimes possible to say, for example, in international train travel, that your train is going to leave from Terminal 1 or 2. But again, it's very much geared towards airports. Likewise, the word boarding is pretty unique to air travel. So when your flight is ready to go, you will hear an announcement that you are required to board, or the flight is boarding at gate 21, for example. That means that you are now going to go into the aircraft and take your seat. Once you've arrived at your destination and you need to leave the leave the aeroplane, there's also a special word for it, which is to disembark. So disembark means leaving the aircraft and going out. Boarding is when you take your seat before you take your flight. So disembark after you have flown and reached your destination. During your flight, you might hear the word stowed by the stewards. So stowed is Old English word. It means to put away or store something. So what do they mean during the flight when they say make sure something is stowed? So they will ask you to put your hand luggage in the overhead lockers safely so that it's stowed away. Also, the seat in front of you will have a little um, tray which drops down and opens and drops down, so you can put your book or your mobile phone or your food. And after you have finished, you will be told to make sure that it's stowed away safely so that it's the tray is folded and locked into place so it doesn't fall and obstruct someone. And that's particularly important if something happens during the flight. And hopefully you will not encounter this during your flight, but again, it's a technical word uh, for flights. The word is turbulence. Turbulence is when flights have a little bit of a bumpy ride, so the air is not smooth. So the aircraft tends to go up and down, and it's a little bit rough and nerve-wracking and scary at times. And it's particularly, troublesome when you're flying through Europe in particular during the winter months when the weather is not so nice. So turbulence is something that you might experience. Hopefully you won't. But if you do, then you might say to your friend or someone else, oh, my flight experienced turbulence, or we had a lot of turbulence during the flight and it was quite scary. So that's how you would use that sentence. And then finally, once you've landed safely, gone through immigration, you might need some transport to get to your hotel. So you might take a metro, which is a sort of a train, or in England, it's known as the underground. So the trains runs, you'll have to go down the escalators and take the underground train to go to your station and your hotel. In some countries, in most other countries, it's known as the metro. So it's basically a train. So you can say to your friend, oh, after I landed at Heathrow Airport, I took the underground to get to my hotel and check in. Or if you're in Europe, you might say, oh, after landing, we took the metro to the hotel. It means the same thing. Both are public transports, usually running on rails, like trains. So hopefully these are very useful words that you can use uh, in your language and practice using these words in the sentences that I have suggested. Thank you.